Good evening, everyone. My name is Tira Warner, and we're here for another exhilarating lecture in the Truth About Your Food series with Dr. Ariel Taloran. And tonight is our lecture on the truth about fats. And I wanted to, thank you, Dr. Taloran, for being here with us again this evening.
It's my pleasure, and I want to also acknowledge all the effort and hard work that was put here by Tara, or known also as Tira, who has created this series for us to all be enlightened by, and I enjoy it, and I hope that you all enjoy it, and we all have to thank Tira for this.
Oh, well, thank you. It's very nice of you. Without your content, I'm afraid there'd be lots of giggling going on, but not so many mind-blowing new realizations. But it's great teamwork, so thank you for that. Tonight is our night to talk about fats, and I believe where we picked up this one last time or was on the subject of lipids, and you started to talk to us about that. Can we start and take it from lipids and work our way back up?
We'll do the whole thing from the beginning because it was not recorded, as far as I know.
Exactly.
We'll have to do it completely. Do you want me to start?
Yes. Yes, please.
All right. I thought you had any additional introductory things. But since you don't...
I may slip them in a little bit later. Yeah, I may slip them in a little bit later.
Oh, okay. Well, just interrupt me whenever you feel like it then. So we're talking about fats today. And fat is a very interesting topic. It has been made extremely important by so many organizations and nutritionists during the 70s and 80s and 90s because fats were known to be very dense, have a lot of calories, 9 calories per gram versus 4 calories per gram of carbohydrates and proteins, and those are the 3 macronutrients. And because fat is also what makes us obese, and because Americans have been eating a lot of fat in the last 50 years, almost everybody who deals with nutrition and health decided to ignore the functions of fat and to turn fat into some type of an evil thing that should be avoided almost at all cost. And in fact, a lot of people were saying that excess fat is the most serious dietary threat to our nation's health today. That was in the 90s. And because everybody was so obsessing with fat, the health organization of United States, like the American Diabetic Association and Heart Association and the American Dietetic Association, and even the National Cancer Institute, they were all saying the same thing, and many nutritionists all took a very quantitative approach to fat, focusing on reduction of the intake of all fats instead of looking at the different types of fats that exist and looking at the quality of fats and about the functions of fats and how important they are in the human body. So I want to start by departing from this approach and talking just about what fats are good for initially. Why are fats important in our body? Why do we need to eat fats? First of all, fats are tasty. They make us want to eat. And it's important to carry the flavor of food. And when we have fat in the food, it makes our taste buds a little happier. And that is a good thing. Fats also have many types of fat-soluble vitamins that can dissolve in them. And if we didn't have fat in our diet, we wouldn't be absorbing those fat-soluble vitamins. And if we don't get those fat-soluble vitamins into our body, we have no protection for the fats that are inside our body. For instance, vitamin E is fat-soluble. And if we don't have enough vitamin E absorbed, then we are going to lose the protection for our cell membranes. If we don't absorb vitamin A, or beta-carotene, which is also fat-soluble. We don't manufacture enough vitamin A in the body, and the cells lining our glands and lining our gastrointestinal tract don't get protection, and we lose our ability to digest even more. And also the cells lining our lungs, the respiratory tree, are going to be affected. So you see how important it is to absorb fat-soluble nutrients, and that can only happen if we have fat in our food. And of course, we need to digest that fat, and we need to manufacture bile in order to digest the fat, to emulsify it and absorb it. And bile itself is made from a different sort of fat, which it belongs to the class of lipids. Lipids are basically defined as insoluble molecules. They don't dissolve in water. And if they don't dissolve in water, they're called hydrophobic. They don't like water. And there are many, many types of lipids. And many lipids in the body also contain fats or are made of fats. So we need them as well. All the cell membranes have a lot of fats included in them. Fatty acids everywhere in all cell membranes in the body, including the nervous system, which is mostly cell membranes. A big chunk of our brain is cellular membranes and fat. All our body tissues, all our body structures have membranes that are extremely important to the health of the cell and to the communication between the cells. That all has to do with fats. Also, other lipids like cholesterol and phospholipids and other lipids we don't have to mention, and also the entire regulation of the body in terms of heat, temperature, inflammation, adhesion of platelets in the blood have to do with eicosanoids or prostaglandins and prostacyclins and leukotrienes and thromboxanes, all of which are regulatory substances that derive from different fats or lipids. And you don't have to remember all those things, by the way. If I mention some biochemical terms, don't worry about them. I'm just trying to impress the importance of the concept. I'm not trying to speak over your head or something. I apologize if sometimes it sounds like it. But those are not important right now. In the future, we can put together a slideshow with these lectures, and they will have more information that will make it a little more understandable. It's not important for now, so sit and relax and just enjoy the information's main points. We need fat also to transport molecules like HDL and LDL cholesterol, lipoproteins, which can make fats more water-soluble to allow for the blood transport of it. And all the sterols like cholesterol derive also from lipids and fats, and those are, cholesterol is not just found in membranes of cells, but also it helps us synthesize, produce different types of vitamins and steroid hormones and bile. So all the sex hormones and stress hormones require fats and lipids to be produced. This is just a beginning of understanding how important fats are, and therefore we should not ignore them, and it is not beneficial to simply try and cut out the fat completely or reduce fat to the point where we are going to be deficient. Today, we live in an environment that puts additional stress on our body, and we need more of those stress hormones that are made from fat. Our body requires them. Today, we also have more toxicity and more challenges to the immune system. And many vesicles or little tiny organs within the cells called lysosomes and peroxisomes are important for detoxification and elimination of cellular debris and even self-destruction of cancer cells. And all of those little vesicles have their own membranes and require continuous supply of lipids and fats and fatty acids.